Welcome to the show. Today's topic is behind the scenes, why our hybrid PT model has changed our business. We started online training back in around 2015-16 before the well-known blip, and the blip that changed the world. And in 2020, obviously the world closed down and everyone became an online trainer. Zoom became the thing. It was never really what we did, and we know how difficult training on Zoom is. As we say, so there has been a major shift, and I don't think the fitness industry will ever be the same again. Don't you agree, James, since that shift?
Absolutely. Thanos' blip has literally taken over the world.
It has indeed. Do you want to talk a little bit then about how we do things, how we approach hybrid training, and what hybrid training means?
Yeah, I think it's important to go back to that initial 2015-16 when we came across this online personal training software and the idea behind it, because I never thought of this software replacing personal training. I saw it as an opportunity to enhance the level of services that we were doing and to make sure that we were enhancing our service and looking after the clients for the rest of the week. So, most of the trouble I had when I was working with clients was 1, 2, 3 sessions a week if they were lucky. But I could never try and get them to adhere to doing habits or doing other things outside those hours, for good or for worse. Yes, sometimes they did it, sometimes they didn't, but there's no consistency. So as soon as I saw the software, I go, wow, we can literally change the way we do things behind the scenes. So we adopted it into this hybrid model straight away. It wasn't online only or personal training only, like some people in 2 camps like to go now. We very much saw it as a hybrid personal training only, as a hybrid personal training solution for what we were trying to do. So what we did was we started going online first to try and adapt it. And then while we had clients with us as well in person, we did some work with clients too and combined the two all together. So for us, we were like, wow, this is the future. And I really do believe it is the future now of how we do things. And it's very much so our future in business. Now, Strength Matters is very much online coaching when we work with clients. However, our sister company, Cricket Matters, is the evolution essentially of that whole model and how we approach hybrid personal training. And we've got to give so many examples of how we're using this within our business in coming episodes too. But hybrid personal training for us is our default model. It's the best thing we've ever done for our business. And I'm hoping we can share it with you to learn from us and apply it to your fitness business too.
Do you want to share a little story about some of the challenges we faced and why it's important, why you've got to have systems to do this, basically, if you want to be successful?
Yeah, sure. So right out the gate, when we tried to go online only, we just invited the whole world to come and join us, and then we just messed up because you can't just apply in-person training and systems to online training, and vice versa. Online training to in-person doesn't work as well. What you need is to have a system of where it's a crossover, a complete crossover between the two, because it's a completely different animal. You have to have that to make sure it's working. So the biggest mistake we made was we first started using Zoom calls for our personal training services. Now, we've spoken about in depth before how we just don't do it, which leads to burnout. So that was the first mistake. The second mistake was trying to apply assessments that were designed for in-person to online training on their own. And that just didn't work either. So what we had to come up with is a solution where we put the autonomy back onto the clients to take responsibility for assessments. They self-assessed, and that was the same whether it was in person in the gym or online. And then after that, we then took on the calls and we started building the program from that. So it gave us more time back by doing these self-assessments first and foremost in our model to then start going, right, where's this person going to work? But the model itself is that people come to us for training. And the first default model of training for us now is online only, right? So that's the online part where we're going to work with them 7 days a week because it gets the best results, right? It gets the best results hands down when they do this with us. That's the default. We don't offer them other things first. It's the online component first, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's the first part of the model. Then we do the upsell, do you want fries with that type option that you have at McDonald's, saying, hey, would you like to work with us in person? Now, it's not always suitable for most people because they're not in the same country, the same city, the same town. But if they are, we can offer them that solution right there and then. And that's the conversation we have. So it's online coaching first, because essentially training is just training, right? It's whether you do it online, in person, or a mixture of both. It's just training. That's what we focus on. And then we do the upsell afterwards in terms of do you want fries with this? But only if it's right for the person and then you can afford it, because you've got to think about their budget considerations too. So it's a great way and a great flexible way of offering services. then if they want to have extra bolt-on training sessions, and we can use some examples later on down the line about this, where they can have 2 to 3 sessions maybe in person with us to help work on some technique, they can have that too. But it comes back to that default online only model first, and that's the focus we're trying to get here and get through to our clients as the most important aspect.
Yeah. And it allows much more flexibility, right, for both trainers and for clients. Because, how many of us who do one-to-one have experienced that where a client, something happens in their life and they can't then make that session. You've got to cancel that session, maybe lose out on some money. But the hybrid model, as you say, you can potentially program for them 7 days a week. So it doesn't matter if they can't have their in-person session that day. They've got other options to then continue training, and you don't lose out because they're generally paying. We run monthly fees and stuff like that, so you're not actually losing out on anything. And the client doesn't lose a session because they can just skip to whatever's programmed next, right? What are some of the other benefits?
Well, that's the big benefit. I think that's when we work with clients now. Let's just say they normally come in on a Monday and we have a program in their training plan working with us on a Monday, but they can't make it. Well, that's okay. They can come in on Wednesday because there's a training plan already in their Wednesday session. And they can come in at that time during the day if there's a slot available. They can book into that slot, or they can work with another coach because the plan's already been outlined and programmed for them. So this is a really good team collaboration. It's also quite good to empower the clients to work with different coaches at different times as well, because it's a great opportunity to learn from all of this. As long as we're all working from the same hymn sheet or singing from the same hymn sheet and working from the same program, it works exceptionally well. So that's a really big benefit. And also let's talk in terms of finances for clients at the moment. So that's a great thing post-pandemic, and also in terms of the economic crisis that we're in at the moment, is that instead of losing clients in the past, because they're so used to this hybrid option, they've just not having the in-person sessions. They've just gone down to the online coaching aspect only. So they're still doing the training, but they haven't got the in-person aspect, which saves them money because they haven't got the money at the moment. Instead of them cancelling the whole program with us, they're still with us. So we have this ability and this flexibility to work with them around their finances too, and also for us not to lose them. And again, at the same time as well, a lot of clients who've left, say, Cardiff here with some of the guys here at Cricket Matters, we are now working with them online only because they're so used to working with us and they don't want to leave working with us too. So there's so many benefits of the hybrid model. It gets them online, gets them this flexibility for coaches in terms of earning money, but also it's a great way for clients to get better results long term because it suits their lifestyle, suits their needs, and they're training more often, more frequently, and it's all included as part of the nutrition and also the daily habits we work with them too. So not just working with training and nutrition, it could be habits: walk more steps, eat more vegetables, drink more water, take your vitamins, whatever it is. That's the type of stuff we're doing on the backside and the flip side too.
Yeah. And it allows trainers to earn more as well, because obviously when you're doing one-to-one, there are only so many hours in a day, hours in a week. And as you say, how is the way you put it? Trainers no longer have to trade their time for money.
Yeah. So think about this. If the average client in the gym, on the gym floor, if they have 20 clients and they average 2 sessions each a week, that's 40 hours on the gym floor. That's hard graft, right? 40 hours in work is normal, but 40 hours of giving your time for personal training is hard. It's emotionally draining. It's emotionally difficult. But it's also hard because it's obviously mostly split shifts as well, early mornings to late nights. We totally get that. So by doing this, it frees up more time for you to work with more clients and make more money, but it makes you have the flexibility and freedom to lead the life that you want amongst that too. So if there's weeks where you're going to go away, you can still train these clients, right? We're all self-employed mostly, as opposed to losing your money when you're going away. So for us, it's such an important, it gives us that freedom and flexibility. It takes away that feeling of feeling more tired and trapped within your business, right? And it allows us to scale the business here. So what we like to work with, our model behind the scenes here is 1 to 40. So you can have 40 clients working with you as opposed to 20, and you have more time to work with them too. So there's so many benefits to it in terms of your own working lifestyle as a personal trainer and coach, for the team, right? Because as a team, we can work with all the clients together and they get a really good overview of how the team works together and get an amazing experience of doing that. But more importantly, you don't lose money and you can make more money long term too.
Exactly, but of course you have to have the systems in place if you want to do all this successfully. So if you want to find out more about our hybrid coaching model and how we implement it, go to strengthmatters.com/HCP. That's it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review and subscribe, and tune in next time.